Good morning, St. Philip's family, and welcome to this Thursday morning devotional where we will be talking about another one of the great hymns of the church. One of the marvelous things about the Easter season is that there are so many incredible hymns that are full of wonderful theology about the significance of Jesus' resurrection from the dead. And the one that we're going to talk about today is one that is near and dear to my heart. It is a very ancient hymn dating back to the 6th or 7th century, a Latin hymn originally. During most of its history in Latin, it was called Ad Regias Agni Dapes, but we know it as At the Lamb's High Feast We Sing. And this is a particularly poignant hymn for those of us at St. Philip's, because you will remember in that glorious, beautiful stained glass window over the altar at St. Philip's, we have a beautiful rendition of the triumphant Lamb of God. Whenever you see the beautiful white lamb holding the banner with a red cross on the banner, that is an image of the triumphant, risen Christ, triumphant over death. And the Latin inscription in that window, Ecce or Ecce Agnus Dei, Behold the Lamb of God, is a reminder to us every Sunday of Jesus' resurrection power and that he gave his life as a sacrificial lamb on the cross for us. So this hymn today is full of all sorts of beautiful imagery, and I would encourage you to meditate on these words because they are rich in explaining to us the love of God and the wonder of what Jesus accomplished on the cross. So the first verse, At the Lamb's high feast we sing, praise to our victorious King, who hath washed us in the tide, flowing from his pierced side. Praise we him, whose love divine gives his sacred blood for wine, gives his body for the feast, Christ the victim, Christ the priest. There's so much great imagery in here, but the whole idea of the cleansing tide, the water and the blood that flow from Jesus' side, and then the great amazing thing that Christ is himself the sacrifice for this feast, but he also is the priest celebrating the sacrifice. It is a beautiful and joyous thing. And the second stanza, where the paschal blood is poured, death's dark angel sheathes his sword, Israel's host triumphant go through the wave that drowns the foe. Praise we Christ whose blood was shed, paschal victim, paschal bread. With sincerity and love eat we manna from above. And this is a beautiful tying together of God's salvation history, rooted in the Old Testament and the people of Israel who are brought out through the flood of the Red Sea, and they are brought through on this journey to the Promised Land where God feeds them with manna from above. And all of it, of course, is a foreshadowing of this sacred tide through which we walk because of Jesus' death on the cross and his resurrection, and then the bread, the manna from above, that is Jesus giving of himself as he gives us his body and his blood on the cross and in the sacrament of communion. And the third stanza, mighty victim from the sky, hell's fierce powers beneath thee lie. Thou hast conquered in the fight. Thou hast brought us life and light. Now no more can death appall. Now no more the grave enthrall. Thou hast opened paradise, and in thee thy saints shall rise. And this is a great and triumphant stanza telling us that Jesus has conquered sin and death, that hell's powers fly from Jesus' power. He has brought life and light. Death can no longer appall us. The grave cannot hold us captive because we are set free through Jesus' love for us and what he has accomplished on the cross and in his resurrection. And then this last stanza, Easter triumph, Easter joy, sin alone can this destroy. From sin's power do thou set free, souls reborn, O Lord, in thee. Hymns of glory, songs of praise, Father, unto thee we raise. Risen Lord, all praise to thee, with the Spirit ever be. It is a great reminder to us of the joy and the triumph of Easter, things that we should not let be marred by our sin, because our hearts should be so overcome with praise and wonder and joy at what Jesus has done for us that we are literally singing to him. We are reborn because of his love, because of his sacrifice, and that as we are come into relationship with him, we share in that risen life. As the stanza before says, in thee thy saints shall rise. So there is great good news in this hymn. There's a glorious rendition of it on YouTube that is attached to this devotion, as well as a printout of the words. I commend those to you and pray that they will be a blessing as you continue to celebrate the Lamb's High Feast. May God bless you this day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.